to start the city council meeting tonight. Before we start, we're going to have the pledge, and we're going to have an invocation. And the invocation will be given by Mel Gibson from the First Baptist Church tonight. We're pleased that you're here. Whether or not you want to participate in the invocation doesn't make any difference on the reason that you came here to see the council tonight. And the invocation is given for the benefit of the council. We invite anybody that would like to come and do that invocation to call my office, and we'll be glad to sign you up. And we take all denominations, and it doesn't make any difference. So with that, I'll ask everybody to stand. We'll have the pledge given by Councilwoman Nancy.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You'll remain standing. So now we have a young lady who works for us, Diana Wright, and her sister passed away yesterday morning. Memorial services on Thursday, and I'd like you to remember her. Is there anybody that I missed? Everybody else is in pretty good shape tonight. Thank you.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we acknowledge that you are the God of this city. We want to thank you for blessing us with a 200-year history. We are so grateful for our past, and we anticipate an even brighter future. I thank you for these council members and their willingness to serve. I pray that you would grant them your wisdom, a unity of purpose and spirit, and uncommon courage as they make decisions for our community. Tonight our hearts go out to the family of Diana Wright. Lord, I pray that they will know you as a God of mercy and comfort during this difficult time. And we pray all of this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Thank you. First thing on our agenda will be to pick up your cell phone and be sure that it's on vibrate or turned off. Secondly, we'll have roll call.
Councilwoman Risch.
Present.
Councilman Weber.
Present.
Councilman Schomel.
Present.
Councilman Nobby.
Here.
Councilwoman Montgomery.
Present.
Councilman Creech.
Present.
Councilwoman Stevens.
Here.
Let the record show that all 7 council members are here tonight. We have a quorum and we can do business. The reading of the minutes of the last council meeting, that will be August the 19th, 2013.
Ron, make a motion we pass the minutes as presented.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor to pass the minutes as they were sent out to the council people. Are there any additions or corrections? None appearing. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. The minutes stand approved. Thank you. Welcome to all of you folks tonight. We appreciate it. We're going to run through this pretty expeditiously, I think. First, we're going to have Holly Nunn. Holly, I don't know how you got to the top of the list, but you're right up there.
All right. It still makes me nervous to come up here.
Oh, it shouldn't make you nervous. We're friendly.
Yeah, you are. I was here before. I think you all know who I am and what I do. I represent The Haven, and we are a youth-focused ministry / young adult program, just in general, that has been around now for coming up on 4 years. And this month we are making a huge transition because we are moving into our own building. For real this time. Last time we had some unexpected things that we thought we were all in the clear, but this time Troy has been with me and helped me with this, and we will be in there and begin in October. And one of the very first things that is going to start, and I'm really kind of excited about it, and I actually brought some of these, I'll let you guys have them, is all we're moving towards having a mentoring program right after school. Partnership with the school. They'll get dropped off from the high school, and we'll work in partnership with Fayette County Transportation to get them home. I don't know if I have enough for everyone, but you can
We'll
share.
share.
But essentially that's going to start right away, and then we will also have some drug classes for teens that's going to be lined up, and then we'll continue to have fuel, and we're going to grow more programming as it allows. Lots of great things that are in the works. But to start off in October, we'll be using the building 5 days of 7.
What building? I'm sorry, I didn't get it.
No problem. It was the old chicken coop. It's 111 West 7th Street. It's a lot smaller. But we're gonna make it work. It's about 2,200 square feet, and it'll enable us to get going, maybe even for the next, we're hoping for a couple years. Any questions about
Right
that?
down here by the pawn shop.
Right by,
Oh, okay, all
right by
all
Family Video.
Okay, all right.
It's right downtown, and just have already got some great partnerships going. Got several churches that are sponsoring our monthly expenses, and we are moving forward. Literally, our stuff's in there. So, and I'm here tonight because our first, it's kind of was on our last list. Our first need is a place for people to sit down, and so I've kind of gone through a couple different school pricing sheets and different websites online, and we're hoping to get. I want it to be a fun place. I want it to be a place that kids are excited about coming to and bringing their friends. So I want it to look nice, but at the same time be affordable. And we need, because the space is smaller, we need something stackable and something that we can kind of shuffle what we're doing really quick. The first thing I have is chairs for 100 kids, because that's about what we run. And that is $200 and $2,000, and like before, I come with options. So if you don't like what I offer, there's other options. Yeah, I'll pass that on. They're real contemporary looking, but they were the least expensive also, so it works out double-sided. The thing that I need the most, and it makes me even nervous to mention it because I know that they're pricey, and that is cafeteria style tables. Our space, if you've been in there, the walls are gone now. It's super long, but it's not super wide, and so I need tables that go up and down really quick so we can open them up and close them, put them away, and roll out a ping pong table. and for just the fire side of things, I'm not allowed to have anything fixed or permanent, so it can't be booths or anything that's heavy. We just need to be able to kind of tuck them away. So I have cafeteria tables. We have space for 6, 5 will work. And they're kind of pricey. And I'm just going to tell you that I've done a lot of shopping, trying to find Craigslist, anywhere that I could find them. They were already something that we could buy used, not had any luck, and we're kind of getting down to where we're moving in a month. And so I need tables. 5 of them with shipping would run around $6,000, which makes my heart pitter-patter. But
Why are they so expensive?
I think because they're convenient. I mean, we need bench
Show a
top.
picture, huh?
Oh, it didn't show a picture. I'm sorry. It's basically they fold up in the middle, they open up, and they have bench seating. Kind of allows more people
Kind of like
to.
they got in cafeterias and stuff.
It's just like what they have in a cafeteria. One person can flip the benches over and squish it up, and they push aside real quick. And that's kind of that's what I'm here to present. I don't know.
Okay, 100 chairs plus the tables.
Yeah.
What do the chairs be used for when the tables are folded?
Well, it's a long space, and so on one end, we'll have it set up with a stage and people that can speak at it, and there'll be people sitting at it. And then on the other side, we serve them a meal, and the tables will be over there on that side.
How many can you seat at 5 tables?
At 5 tables, it's going to be 50, 60. Some of them will still have to be in other parts of the building. We know it's going to be tighter. That's why as soon as they stand up, we can swipe up the table and get it out of the way. It'll be tight, but we can make it work. I mean, we know that we needed a starter spot, and this is where we're going to start.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
what if we seen Mike Bottomley? He has stackable chairs, and he has folding type tables. See, maybe Mike could help us out.
Yeah.
Is any up there Visteon plant?
I know that they have something heavier that's got some mold in the chair form at the Visteon plant. I don't know. They think they're too bulky. I think they'll take up too much space.
We have the white tables, the folded tables at the Miller, or at the building, the 4-H building, the Roberts building, and we thought about, in fact, I even asked the Board of Works today to consider giving some of those to you, but you don't want those.
We beggars can't be
chairs-
choosy.
Those chairs are stackable. It's hard for us to sit here in our poor condition and buy new tables and chairs for you when we know we need tables and chairs in our own building.
Okay.
I mean, it's very difficult, at least it is for me.
I-
This council has to say so, though. Thank you.
Holly, and I, not to do it with the mayor, but, you know, we have an obligation with the
Oh, I
taxpayers
completely
and so
understand.
forth. We have an obligation to our parks, and we would like to help you. And having said that, like I say, I think Mike, I borrowed them at the transfer station before. Those, they were white fiberglass type tables, lightweight, and he has the stackable chairs. But, your heart's in the right place. It would be just difficult for me to vote to spend a great deal of money to do this.
I
mean, if we
understand.
give something to Mike, I think he'd love to help you out.
Mike, can you come up here a minute?
While he's walking up, I was just looking on eBay and I found a couple
If you find
folding,
something,
rolling 12-foot cafeteria tables from schools for $375
where did you find them?
right here.
Because I mean, I'm
And
glad
then,
to.
then you have to pay shipping.
Where are
but
they at? Where in the
They're
country?
in Waterford, Michigan. And shipping, whatever that would cost. They have 2 available, and there's another one that has 5 available for $400.
Well, I'm.
How many can seat at each one?
Yeah.
12. How many seats are those? And these are folding, rolling.
That's kind of what you're talking
That's
about.
kind of what I'm talking. And they fold up like this.
Fold up like that.
I'm glad to look at them and be glad to. That's.
You have to have
I'm
your
not.
own eBay. No. I mean, it's just on eBay. I looked up cafeteria tables and some came up, so you might want to look it up.
I'm glad to. Yeah, I've used the school, like what the school has used in the past, and then I went online. I guess I didn't go eBay though.
Yeah.
Mike, if we. would
One
give-
last question.
She wants a.
Sorry.
You go ahead.
I just found 8 for $275.
8 for 200. That's.
And
sold.
they are
piece.
cafeteria tables, folding tables with bench seats. They were in a daycare and a restaurant. There, you want to look at it?
This is exactly what I'm looking for. Unless they're like little kid level.
I mean, you can even call them and all that stuff.
They're in a daycare, they're probably low tables.
Yeah, they have to be.
It says look, daycare or restaurant. Maybe small people eat there.
No, but that's.
But
I mean,
look it up,
I'm
yeah.
open. It's just. A,
Could we
whatever.
give her 100 of our chairs and order new chairs for the 4-H building?
Yeah, we can do that.
Are they stackable?
Yes, it's those marine ones.
Okay.
They're pretty nice chairs. That would be nice for your stage area.
And what about the tables? You got tables or no?
Not to,
We don't
Yeah,
have,
but,
we don't have those that break in half with the benches on. We got the white tables that fit the chairs.
Well, and we would make anything work. I feel like you
Yeah.
need to know that we will make
Sure
anything
that you
work. But
will.
when you're looking for it, that's.
What's the diameter of the tables, the round tables at the probably?
60 inches,
How much?
60.
Are they all round or do we have any long ones?
We have some long ones too. They're 6-footers or 8-footers.
Probably the long ones would suit your needs better.
Yeah, longer will fit this.
The only, you'd have to bring the chairs back, eat, and then take the chairs back up and put up at the stage.
Oh, that's fine. We talked about doing that too if we had to. I mean, in general when we were trying to figure out what we needed to do. So
Well, I
that's-
personally think we would be better suited for the taxpayer if we did that, rather than, and I did get the Board of Works to approve that today if you wanted to do it. They approved,
I've got a question. Have you talked to Troy Tipton
Yeah.
on how many people can be in? Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
we're good this time.
yeah, good.
well, Debbie, Nancy, do you have anything to say about this you want?
No, I just want to thank her for being involved with the kids.
Oh, thank you.
And we definitely want to help.
Yeah, we
You know,
want to help
I think we need to give her some money though to help purchase some tables. I mean, I really think this will be a transforming factor in our city, and I think that's something we ought to think about. I mean, even if it's $2,000, maybe help offset the cost for tables or something like that.
I agree.
I think that's something we need to do, $2,000 or $3,000. So I'll just make a motion right now. I move to appropriate $3,000 to Haven for tables.
Okay, you want to take that a riverboat?
Yeah.
Okay. there a second to that motion?
Second.
We got a motion and a second, 3,000, is that what you said, Gabe? Okay, do you wanna give her some chairs from up there, or do you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, maybe we could find 100 chairs, I don't know, how many,
100 chairs.
huh?
100 chairs?
Is that what you wanted? Is that,
Yeah, oh, yeah, I mean, just, yeah.
is that what you need, 50 or 100?
Oh, I needed 100, but we'll move them, we'll have to move them, but it'll
Well,
be okay.
he's talking about giving you some money to buy these tables off the internet, too.
Oh, that would be fabulous.
Yeah, so if we could
That
do the
would-
chairs and the
The
$3,000.
only thing is, we're gonna have to get ours ordered and get them in.
Should take very long.
Use tables.
If I get it tomorrow.
No, I think you're
So
right.
then we're gonna have to appropriate money to buy chairs.
I don't know how much they are.
Wait just a minute, we got a motion, and do we have a second?
Nancy
Yes.
second.
Nancy second, okay. So we have a motion on the floor. Okay, we need to deal with that motion, go ahead.
We have questions on the?
Sure, question.
Gabe, now, I understand where your heart is, I understand that, but I would rather see us take the city's money and buy Mike, the city park, the tables, and then give Holly the ones that are nice.
But you don't have the tables that she's looking for, right?
We don't have
didn't
the
need it.
round cafeteria tables.
So you don't have that style.
Well, but I mean, and I understand, but Holly said you could make it do, right?
Yeah, we will, I really think for the space, and I mean, I'm gonna pull Troy, it's a long place. I don't know that round tables will work. I think I'll
We
have
have
to
to-
find, they have
We
to
have
be
6 and 8
rectangles,
footers, I know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a place to store them?
That, they're gonna have to stay out.
After they're folded up, you can just lay them against the
They'll
wall.
have to be against the wall, yeah. I don't have storage there, but, yeah.
Well, we have a motion on the floor to put $3,000 into this to buy the kind of tables you want.
What would be more important, the chairs or the tables first?
Probably chairs, because we can sit at our chairs and
Yeah.
eat.
Well, I think we can take care of that in the next motion by giving her some of our chairs and just buy new chairs up there for our tables.
Right, but we're still putting out money, either way.
Huh?
We're still putting out money, either way.
We'll put
That's
out
what-
$3,000 is what
Right.
his motion costs.
Seems to me we ought to wait and see what our tables are and then appropriate that amount. I don't,
If we do that though, we're gonna be way behind. She needs them next month, right?
I do, but
What about the cafeteria type tables that fold up that have bench seats?
that's
That's
what,
what she
that's what I
wants.
really want. That's what you
what
had.
she wants, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
And that's why I
Yeah,
think
that's-
Gabe
and
made
I'll-
the motion for
wherever they-
$3,000, she
yeah,
can get them off
wherever we
eBay.
can.
But she still needs 100 chairs.
Did you say that you could get them for off eBay? Didn't you say $275 a piece or something?
$395 for these I just found, but there are some other ones on there, yes. Y'all look,
Okay, well, we need to dispose of this motion. If you're ready for the question, are you ready?
been ready all my life.
Anybody else want to discuss the question?
I just don't think we
Okay, the
have enough
motion
information.
is that we appropriate from the Riverboat Fund, which will take an additional appropriation, so it's gonna have to lay over 2 weeks, for $3,000 for tables for the fuel. We'll have a roll call vote.
Councilwoman Rish?
No, I want more information on these tables first.
You're just getting the money right now, right?
If you
This
want,
is
yeah.
just the money.
Just the money.
Just money.
Yes.
Councilman Shomel?
I agree with Connie. I need some more facts and figures and some kind of a solid number to go on, so no.
Councilman Nobby?
Yes.
Councilwoman Montgomery?
No.
Councilman Creech?
No.
Councilwoman Stevens?
Yes, and may I request that Holly explain exactly what she does, what this group is all about?
As soon as we get through this vote, we'll do that. Let's see, what's the vote?
4 noes, 3 yeses.
4 noes, 3 yeses. The
Yes,
next
is
motion
it?
fails.
How old are your chairs, Mike, that we're talking about?
Some of it is as old as the Miller Center's been open. I mean, they got nicks in them and, four or 5 years old, 6.
Just wondered.
Now,
I mean, you know,
let's go to
not last
the,
year.
let's go to the fact of the chair, let's go to the fact of the chairs now. Mike says he can give her 100 stackable chairs that she could use at her stage, and then we would order new chairs, and you must remember, we'd have to appropriate money then to buy those new chairs, because he's gotta have those, and we couldn't take those down there until,
He's gotta
Yes.
use them every week.
yeah, his come in.
Yeah.
Is there anybody here that's in favor of taking 100 of those chairs from the 4-H building and giving to her?
Absolutely.
I need a motion.
Let me ascertain
So
one
moved.
thing before we move forward.
You are organized as a 501c3 corporation.
We fall under Sharon Cranfield.
Right. So you have your own number and all that sort of thing. And any contributions made are
Tax, our
deductible.
tax deductible.
Fine. I needed to know
Can the
that.
city give to her then?
Yes, to a 501c3
And we
corporation.
probably save money.
All right, I'll take a motion if you want to pursue this chair issue.
Can I say
Whoop,
something?
yes, ma'am, you're the boss.
If she could buy the tables that she wants on eBay for $400 a piece, she gets 5 of them, that's $2,000. That, if we gave her $3,000, that's enough money for her to get 50 of the chairs that she wants, plus the tables,
And we don't know
without
what,
us having to pay
Another 3,000.
for another $3,000 for chairs for the park.
and we don't know what the cost is on those.
Why don't you look up chairs, Gary?
I'll tell you
Well,
what,
we can do
Holly,
tables.
why don't you do this for us?
Okay,
I hate to make you lose 2 weeks. I'm gonna say, go get an exact price and come back here.
okay.
But you can't do that. We'll
No,
lose 2
she
weeks.
can't, she can't do it, and then if you're on eBay and you wait 2 weeks, it's gone.
Yeah,
So that's why I thought the 3,000 made a lot of sense.
Could we make it a maximum of X number of dollars, but if she got the tables cheaper, we would go with less money?
We can appropriate 3,000, and then when we,
Get the exact
well, when we
cost.
get the next meeting, when we vote on it, when we actually bring the additional in, then you can reduce it if she doesn't need that much money.
Yeah, I'm fine with, we could find it if what Dr. Weber found. I mean, I'm fine with that completely.
We can't do $3,000 because we already voted down the motion. We'll have to change it. You can't consider the same motion in the same meeting twice.
3,001.
But you can consider a different amount if you want to. Don't all sit there and look at me.
Now, I have a question, I have a question, John. So, we can't Mike can't give her 100 chairs and some tables to use?
He can.
Okay.
You can, but if you give her $3,000, she has a very good potential of getting everything she needs without having us have to reimburse the park with an unknown cost that we don't know.
Mike, what do the chairs
Okay.
cost at the park?
Mike, what are you talking about?
$30 a piece?
Be $27 to $32.
What's yours cost?
Depends on where we get them.
I think they're like less than that, they're 20.
Less than 20. Yeah, if you're gonna,
Okay. Can I give the council a suggestion? Why don't you ask for an additional appropriation of $4,000? Let me appoint a committee of Dr. Weber and work with her and see if they can't get the table she wants and the chairs she wants and get it as reasonable as possible,
So moved.
and we'll come back here.
So moved.
We can't consider 3, but we consider more, we can consider less. We got
Now,
a
we're
motion.
gonna get Mike new chairs?
no, Mike's off the table.
Sorry. Do you need
Well-
new chairs?
We could always use tables and chairs.
But you don't really need
That-
them, right?
Your Honor, my point is, and Holly's my neighbor, she knows, I mean, you know, this is not,
Yeah, it's not
it's just
personal.
that I have just had the issue with taking taxpayers' money, and we're doing this for a faith-based organization, and our own Parks Department can use tables and chairs. That's my, again, she's my neighbor, I mean, she knows it's not personal. If I mean, what she's doing is wonderful. That's my
I
only
see what
issue.
you're saying, Tom. Are you gonna come to us maybe next year, Mike, and ask for new chairs? You
Oh,
know,
I'm sure we're gonna need new chairs.
Well, what I'd
so
like-
we might as well get,
Okay,
you,
I'll
the
tell
new
you
one.
what, let's, your motion didn't get a second, so
No.
we're at a dead end here. Mike, take Holly out in the hall, let me go through some of this business, see what you can work out.
Slap around some. or-
Slap,
I don't think you want to do that, Mike.
You
I
slap
think you
him
come around
around.
the back.
Holly, do you think you'll need all those chairs and everything right at first?
No. I will say this, our numbers fluctuate with the season, and football season draws a chunk of my normal people that are there on Friday nights. So as the school year goes, it usually climbs and it hits like 100 and hangs out. We run about 60, 80
You get that many?
consistently.
Okay, all
So if I had enough to start with, and then the other thing I feel like I need to just say is we are immediately gonna work in partnership with the school and some other things. It's not all faith-based.
Melissa, go get my computer. and take it in there to these two. Get on eBay, see what you can find. Okay?
Cafeteria table's what I was under.
Okay, she'll find them, she's good at it.
Okay.
And come back in here in a little bit, let us get through some of this business we're taking. You guys will be wanting to go see a ball game or
She does
something.
an awesome job.
Okay, we got another tough one coming up. I didn't realize until last week, I got a nice little email from MDOT telling us that our ADA transition plan needed to be updated or furnished to them by the 1st of September. And I immediately called Jason Hoff with Strand and said, what happened here? Well, he'll explain to you where we are in this thing. It's kind of a bad deal, but we're in a pinch because we're getting federal money on this Grand Avenue project, and we stand to lose it if we don't have this transition plan in place. So Jason, take the floor.
Sure thing. Just a little bit of background. I kind of relayed this to the Board of Works earlier today. ADA transition plan is a plan that a city has in place that identifies any type of access barriers within the city. It then inventories those, assigns a cost to fixing the access barrier, and puts them on the implementation schedule. This went into place for pretty much all municipalities that get federal aid projects, such as an NDOT project, back in, I think initially in the 70s and then was updated in 1992. So this was required for anyone that wanted federal aid projects. Recently, in August of 2012, NDOT asked all municipalities to provide an updated or complete a ADA plan if they didn't have one. Going back through the documentation, the city contacted me about a week and a half ago, and we did some initial site visit to try to see what all the city had. This entails public-owned facilities such as buildings, as well as what they call public right-of-way, sidewalks, curb ramps, intersections, anything that needs to be ADA accessible. Back in '92, it appears that the city did start that process. They put a plan together in 1993, and it was a draft plan. The plans, one of the tasks is you have to have different policies in place, identify an ADA coordinator, and then identify all of those deficiencies. This plan didn't get very far. It didn't have an ADA coordinator identified, and it had basically only assessed buildings, and there was 6 buildings that were assessed. After my day-long site visit, we also looked at aerial imaging for the streets, the intersections you have. The city has about 28 properties that have access to public or public programming that need review for ADA accessibility. Additionally, based upon our survey, you have over 60 miles of sidewalk that need to be surveyed and approximately 240 intersections. All of this needs to be assessed in the field. For instance, each building to go through the ADA accessibility checklist for that building is approximately, it's actually over 80 pages to go through checklist for each building. There's a similar checklist for each intersection, sidewalks. So at the request of the city, we went through and developed what it would take for us to get working on this, develop a plan. There's public meetings that are incorporated into this, as well as the plan implementation schedule, and we work with the assigned ADA coordinator to move forward. There was a survey letter sent out about a couple months ago, and what NDOT is asking now, it's a pre-award certification for your upcoming project. They ask you to fill out this survey, and one of the first things identified in that is, do you have the ADA plan? And we are in contact with NDOT as recently as today, saying you've got about 2 days to get this survey in, which is just a questionnaire about the city and where they're at. You need to make sure that is submitted in the next couple days, which we have agreed to assist the city with getting that submitted, getting the questions answered. But failure to do this and potentially have the plan in place may impact the funding of your upcoming project.
It's a $2.5 million federal grant project. We can't afford to lose it. So we're pushing real hard. The problem is, to do this survey, you're looking at about $92,000. Julie got back today and I went into her office this morning. I waited a little bit till she was had her coffee, and I told her what we were up against, and she said, where are we gonna get that money?
Actually, he walked in and I said, is this a typo?
Yeah.
So I've talked with Jason, and Jason's willing to do this in increments. Get our plan moving over the next year, pay him or his company, Strand, in increments until we get this thing paid for, get it into NDOT, and then over the next years, this plan will be implemented. We don't know how fast it'll be required. It can't be too fast because all cities are in the same trouble. But we've got to have the plan, and in 2 days, we've got to have the sheet. We've got to have an ADA coordinator. I have a volunteer, Ronnie Coldiron on the Board of Works, said he would be the ADA coordinator. He's interested in that. We can't expect him to do it for free because it's a big job. You'll have to appropriate some money for him to do it. But we have to have one. Connersville City has to have one in place. Unless one of, well, you can't be. None of you can be. It's against the law for you guys to do it. But a Board of Works member can do it, or another employee, a fireman, you know, somebody that's into safety. But we got to do it.
Mr. Mayor.
Yeah.
Jason, who is Strand and Associates?
We're a civil engineering firm.
An engineering firm.
Yes, yes.
We've done business with them. They did the Milton project for us. They just recently engineered all the blowers and motors down at
The raw pumping and motor controls for the wastewater plant.
Okay.
They've done this for other cities, and they know what they're doing.
Well, when I talked to you Friday, I think it was, for a couple minutes, the mayor ran this by me about the state of kind of holding us hostage, so to speak. Now, the 92 or 93, that's for engineering firms?
Correct. That's for us to do all the field work, evaluate every one of your buildings, all of your sidewalks, all of your intersections, and develop the actual plan that identifies all the deficiencies,
Okay.
prioritizes them, assigns a cost to them, and then we work with the city to show that here's an implementation schedule in your plan that says these are our deficiencies, and this is the timeline we're gonna
Okay.
accomplish this.
And then, Mr. Mayor, you said something about Ron Coldiron. would
Ron
be-
said, well, we took this Board of Works because they had to adopt it and then send it on to you for funding, which they
Okay.
did. He would be willing to be the ADA coordinator. We have to
Okay.
come up with a salary ordinance for him
Okay.
because he'll have to work for the next, what, 18 months?
However long you guys decide you want to do as far as completing it. We feel that if it's schedule driven based upon NDOT, we can get it done in December. We've got several weeks of field work. We can get going as early as late this week and get field staff out here to start doing the measurements. There's a series of public hearings, different steps and, you know, checkpoints along the way. We can spread this out based upon your allocation, your schedule.
Well, NDOT will let us spread this out over a year once we get in the process, right?
You know, that's one thing I don't have confirmation on. I think the first step is you get an agreement saying we are working on it, and you tell them that we have an engineer on staff, and they're developing, they're updating the current plan. From there, we can work within your schedule.
So,
Let's
Mr.
talk-
Mayor,
Yeah.
basically, we really don't have a choice, basically. Julie, we're gonna get the money.
I wish I knew.
Brand?
We'll have to take it out of the general fund, but I really don't wanna do that.
John, is there any way we'd be allowed to use the money in that fund that we have, that way,
I'm not sure what fund.
down Smalley Lake?
That's not much to do with environmental.
I don't think
No,
that's,
no.
no.
We can look into
Have
it.
we got any restricted funds any place that fit the bill?
Got money in Cume Cap, couple Cume Cap funds. a
How
little bit
much
of
we
money.
got in there? See, they put this on you.
Well,
We
don't
have
have
a
a
choice
choice.
because we got 2.5 million pending right now.
CCD, we've got 445.
That's where we'll have to take it. Could we do this, could we pay you over a year's time?
Cume Cap did
I think so. I think the question is, how, do you still want it completed in the 3 months? Is that what you're looking at?
What will you do for us?
I need to go back and figure out what my company will let me do as far as spreading it out, but I think we can work something out that works for the, you let me know what your monthly limitation is.
$5. You'd have to talk to the state anyway to see how long they'll give us, right?
Yeah, well, I want to be careful how we approach that because it's supposed to be in place right now. I think the first thing is we'll get that survey sent in, say we're working on it, and then find out what type of timeline you're going to be restricted against.
Some cities have got this done. A good many cities are just in the process. One city, and I don't want to mention any names tonight, got caught, and now they have an agreed order. They've been told what they're going to do.
And we're working with that city, and they're under an agreed order with the Department of Justice, and
We
that
don't wanna
makes
get in
things
that
even more
position.
complicated because now they're in charge of the plan, the schedule, and they're calling the shots. And they are kind of in a similar situation, and it is challenging, and the other challenging thing is this has come about, and there is no grant money available to do these plans. So,
Well, they have you, because if we don't do it, we don't get our money.
And we
need our money.
And we're doing grants on a lot of federal projects.
Yeah.
Well, and
Sure.
it jeopardizes future money.
So I do have a question.
Sure.
You talked about implementation plan. What's the time frame that usually goes? I mean, this is 90,000, but I'm thinking
Yeah.
implementation is going to be far greater.
Sure. I think it all depends upon the size of the city. You put a justification together, we'll sit down with the AD coordinator. First, we got to identify what are your access barriers, and assign them per area, per sidewalk, building, and come up with a cost for these, and then we'll sit down with you, and sometimes they're 5 years, sometimes they're 10 years or more. It's all variable, but we'll sit down and come up with a schedule that works for both entities, both the city and the agency that's
Let
requiring
me
it.
tell you this, though. When we went through all the buildings, I spent a day with him. A lot of the buildings are already somewhat ADA compliant. And we did the Roberts building, the restrooms are ADA compliant, the elevators ADA compliant. In this building, pretty much a lot of the bathrooms are ADA compliant.
A lot of the sidewalks aren't though.
Not the
A
sidewalks.
lot of sidewalks will need those curb ramps.
But some
Several.
of our sidewalks, the new ones have curb ramps.
There was a few newer facilities, some of your parks that needed some upgrades just from our, we did basically a cursory walkthrough through all the buildings. For instance, your soccer complex, that's all new complex and everything, but one of the things with ADA is you have to have I forget how it's worded, a slip resistant path from your parking lot to the concession or facility, and right now you have a gravel lot with grass to a concrete patio around your concession. So that would be something to be the implementation plan to get that access to where people would go to watch the soccer
They
facilities.
measure how hard it is to open a
Yep.
door with a machine,
Yep.
and it's gotta be so easy, or you gotta make it that way. It's got.
You gotta adjust the door closer or change the door style, measure dimensions for access through doorways, in bathroom stalls. We have levels where we check the slopes of sidewalks, intersections. A good half of this effort is gonna be, you'll see our staff running around town, compiling all this, going through the huge amounts of checklists. They've done this in a handful of other communities. They can really move through it.
So you're on, basically, we really don't have a choice to protect that federal
Well, in the
monies.
future too,
yeah,
future
we
councils are
need
gonna
to
have
do
to have
this.
this done or they can't get any federal money.
So we're gonna.
Almost all our grants come federal.
So first things first, we're gonna have to take action on this.
I suggest you take it out of Cume Cap, we ask for an additional appropriation, we have to advertise it.
Julie, is that,
That's what I don't wanna take it out of the general fund.
Okay.
What, you talk to your company, and what if we
Yeah.
paid it in two, part this year and part next year?
Okay,
Talk to your company.
sure. I think
I
we
need
can work
some
something.
motion to advertise for additional, yeah, go ahead, Dave.
I know we have to do this, but what I don't understand is why we didn't know about it before.
Probably my fault.
Sorry, I wasn't trying to place
Well,
blame.
if I knew it, I forgot it. And like I say, they didn't make a big issue to it until I got the email the other day wondering,
It's just such a shock, what,
I don't remember, Melissa's not in here, I don't remember getting
Yeah, it has to be done.
You know,
It's not a choice.
when you look at it, and we've seen this is similar in different communities, when this all came out and the plans were put together in the early 90s, it's as far as it got in a lot of times, and no one was reminding them of the responsibilities. If you didn't assign a coordinator, this got sat up on a shelf.
I didn't
And-
even know we had that 92, 93.
Yeah, Melissa found it when we were talking about it, but it's one of those things that got set on the shelf and it didn't get talked about for a long time, and communities maybe,
Things like that.
yeah, it slipped through the cracks, but now that, starting 2012, NDOT was sending out letters Failure to have a transition plan may result in the deferral of your construction projects or impact funding availability. It's now on everyone's radar that this needs to be a priority.
Almost all cities are in the same bind we're in. If they haven't got it, there's a few cities got it done.
You want a motion on,
We'll have to have,
okay.
Well, are we gonna appropriate the whole amount for now?
no, we'll appropriate half, and then after the first year, we'll appropriate the other half if this company agrees to.
Sure. I think I can safely say that.
Yeah. Julie, you wanted that out of the community capital fund?
Yeah.
I would like to put that in form of a motion for 90, how much was it?
Half of 92.
You want half of it?
93.
93, I thought it was 92.
That's
No, it's
93.
not. You're trying.
You and I are
I
going
like
to have to
that.
have a man-man talk.
91 sounds better.
It's in black and white. I think you'll lose, I think.
9 sounds a lot better.
I thought it was this 9,300, I just thought.
Well, I got the same comment. I think a lot of people were unaware of the level of effort it involves. And I can work with Julie about the actual accounting aspect of it.
Okay, so your motion is to advertise for a public hearing for half of the 92
Yes.
this year, and we'll get started. And then, you talk with them, Don, I'd like to take this a little easier, maybe we can
Sure.
squeeze some of it out.
Can we get somebody to second that motion?
Second.
Did Jason second it, or did he? We have a motion and a second on the floor to ask for additional appropriation, to have a public hearing on this fume cap fund for half of the $92,000 for the next meeting, which will be the 16th of September. Are you ready for the question? Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. All right, we got that covered. You go home.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Listen, Jason, we've got 2 days to get that thing in.
I will, I've already got an email drafted and I'm going to work with your staff on getting that in.
Do you have to have my signature?
Mr. Mayor?
Is it your signature? I think it's actually an LPA signature.
This is Diana, isn't it?
So it'll
Okay.
be, well, I'll work through it and I'll be in contact.
But don't bother Diana, you let me talk to her because she's going through this with her sister.
No, I will not bother Diana.
But I mean, I can get her to sign it and send it in.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
you had mentioned Ron Koldar, which I think is great. Now, the council doesn't get involved, is that you?
Yeah,
that's
you don't
your-
have to make a salary
Well,
ordinance for
won't you
him.
and Julie have to get with him and get something worked
Well,
out?
we'll
and then-
have
We
to work
don't
with
even know what he's
Jason
gotta
first
do.
and
Okay.
see what it
But I think it's a great, him as an ADA coordinator, you
Get
guys.
me something on what that coordinator's gotta do, how many hours he gotta work and
Yep,
everything.
I'll
so I
get you
can-
like a description of what his responsibilities will be.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
All right, now I see Holly Dunn come back in here. If you guys come to a conclusion,
Yeah.
come on up here.
I guess she suggested that, she'll just take a $2,000 donation and she'll worry about the tables later. She wants her chairs all matching with the hard plastic. They're a lot more durable for the kids. So my only other option was, request her $2,000 and, or $2,000, appropriate me $1,000 to buy 8-foot tables, and I could replace my old 8-foot tables and give her the old ones.
She just wants the money and go home.
Or just $2,000 and she can figure it out herself.
Okay, council, you heard it. It just can't be $3,000, because you can't consider the same motion in the same meeting.
But could, so you say for the tables would be another 1,000.
Yeah, give or take.
So I move to appropriate $3,001 for the Haven.
Is that legal, John? Yep. Okay, motion's not the same motion.
Second. No.
We have a motion on the floor to appropriate $3,001 out of the Riverboat Fund to the fuel. Are we still calling it fuel?
Yeah, well, fuel is one part of it. The Haven is the.
The Haven.
Now, I'm confused. Are we appropriating to give them 2,000 and to buy
No,
tables
it is
for mine?
$3,001 to her, period.
Just let me
Right?
figure it out.
No.
No,
No, what?
2,000.
And 1,000 to buy tables?
What was it, what we talked about, the common thing here in the past year was giving groups $2,000, come in and ask for money, they usually give them $2,000, that she would request that, and then she would take care of the chairs. Then I kind of said, well, if that happens, then maybe I can get $1,000 to replace some of our 8-foot tables.
Okay, so. I
Give
follow.
her your old 8-foot
Yeah.
tables.
All right, Mr. Mayor, I withdraw my motion. I got a new motion.
We
I
need to
move
move
to-
to $2,000 for her, I think. Isn't that what we're supposed to be doing for chairs?
Okay, Gabe wants to make a motion.
I move
Let's
to
hear it.
appropriate $2,000 for chairs for the Haven. That's pretty much.
Period.
Period.
I mean, that's all.
I have a second motion in a second.
Okay, is there a second to that motion?
Mike, and that's what you're happy with that, right?
Yeah, I mean.
Second.
She's not happy with those, I don't think she'll be happy with those chairs in the long run, just because of kids and their phone, and they already got some rents already starting, and I think within 6,
Okay.
All right,
Kids
we got
will tear them up.
We got a motion on the floor. $2,000 to the Haven. Any discussion?
Nick?
And that's just 4 chairs.
It's whatever she's gonna
That's
buy,
right.
whatever she wants to buy with it.
But they would be chairs.
We're donating it to her to do it
Yep,
with
to the
as she
Haven.
pleases.
Okay, we're not gonna tell her what to do with it, right? Gabe, that's your motion? Okay. Any discussion? Okay, roll call vote.
Councilman Weber,
Yes.
Councilman Shomel.
Yes.
Councilman Nobby.
Yes.
Councilwoman Montgomery,
Yes.
Councilman Creech,
Yes.
Councilwoman Stevens,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rish.
Yes.
Okay, you've passed that unanimously, and you get $2,000.
Got another motion,
Well, we
Mr. Mayor?
had to advertise for the.
We have to advertise to take that out of River Road. Okay, now,
I have another motion. I move to appropriate $1,000, is that correct, Mike?
yeah,
For 8 tables
yeah.
for the parks, and those 8 tables that will be replaced, given to the Haven.
And these tables are the round,
no,
fold,
it's long. She
long
wants
fold-up cafeteria tables for you.
Yeah, the long 8-foot
Is
tables.
that gonna be all right?
We'll make it work.
You'd rather do that than look at the cafeteria tables?
We're gonna have to go to Egypt to get the cafeteria tables.
Oh, you don't want to eat.
I mean, you just have to, they don't ship, they
Well,
don't.
they
want-
actually do if you call them.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Is there a second to that
I've been
motion?
Second.
Got a motion and a second that $1,000 then be used in the park to buy new tables, and 10 tables be given to Holly Dunn from the park once those tables come in, which Mike will get in
Yeah.
after we appropriate. Well, you can go ahead and order them. We'll
I probably
appropriate.
want to
How
order.
many tables are we buying?
10.
Hoping 10,
10
Yeah.
for 1,000?
I think I can get them for that,
Those are 8-foot folding tables.
right,
It's $100 a table?
yeah,
Wow,
I got connections.
good.
We
I
don't.
hope
Okay, we
they're
got a
not
second on that. Any discussion?
stolen property.
Any discussion?
As long as we don't know.
Okay, We'll have a roll
As
call
long as we
vote.
don't know.
Councilman Shomel,
Yes.
Councilman Nobby,
Yes.
Councilwoman Montgomery,
Yes.
Councilman Creech.
Yes.
Councilwoman Stevens.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rish.
Yes.
Councilman Weber.
Yes.
You have passed that unanimously. I think we got the tables and chairs taken care of, Holly Dunn.
Thank you guys.
Thank
I
you.
really
Thank you.
appreciate all of you and what you do.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Holly.
You coordinate everything with Mike. He'll work it out for you.
Okay, and I come back.
You really don't need to be here on the 16th, but if you want to be, it'll be fine, because there'll be a public hearing. If there'll be somebody out there object to it, it would be better if you were here in favor of it.
Okay,
I doubt whether there will be, but there might be.
Yeah, you'll be okay.
Okay?
thank you.
Thank you. We're not making very good time. Resolution 2013-44 reimbursement. This will go quick.
Those can all go.
Can we take them together?
Yeah, we can take resolution, they're all reimbursements all the way down to, let's take C, D, and E. Resolution 2013-44, 45, 46 inclusive, all receiving money back.
I make that motion.
Got a motion and a second, we accept those resolutions. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion so, that's carried. Pending ordinance, 3047 ordinance would authorize issuance of pool bond. This is the thing I've been telling you about that we are doing to refinance the pool. This was prepared by Martin Thornburg. This is just the first step in refinancing it. At this point, I can't tell you exactly what the savings is going to be, but they are going to, it's going to be a significant saving, so this is the first step in approving it. Rick Hall said he would have come down here tonight and explained to you. I said, no, we don't want to pay it. You know we got to do it, stay home and we'll do it. And you know what it costs to get a lawyer to drive down here?
Yes.
Okay, so I'd like for you to pass pending ordinance 3047, and we'll get this pool bond refinance in the works. Anything you want to say about it, John?
Only, but, you know, the title explains it.
Yeah.
It's an ordinance of the city of Commonwealville
authorizing the issuance of bonds for the purpose of providing funds to refinance its economic development and income tax revenue bonds of 2004 and pay incidental expenses in connection therewith and on account of the issuance of the bonds. I think that's enough of a reading title only. It gives you the gist of what it's all about.
I want to be perfectly clear. This is an economic development bond, and it's an economic development project. However, when we did this, I was on the council, Fran was on the council, Weber was on the council. I think that's it. We did this, we had to do a backup with property tax, just in case the edit fund didn't come up with it. So when someone tries to tell you this is not an edit project, that's wrong. It is an edit bond, that's what it's for, that's where we get the money to pay it. We're refinancing it to try to bring it down and save money, which, that's what we should be. It's just no different than you refinancing your home. So, I'd like for you to consider pending ordinance 3047.
Make the motion.
Second.
Got a motion on the floor, is there any discussion?
That's a good deal.
Okay, none appearing, we'll have a roll call vote.
Councilman Nobby,
Yes.
Councilwoman Montgomery,
Yes.
Councilman Creech,
Yes.
Councilwoman Stevens,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rish,
Yes.
Councilman Weber,
Yes.
Councilman Shomel.
Yes.
Okay, you have passed that unanimously. Would you like to suspend rules and move on and pass?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, on pending ordinance 3047 to refinance the pool under an economic development bond, on suspension of rules only, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. You can move forward.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor to consider pending ordinance 3047 to refinance the pool under this authorized income tax, edit tax pool bond. Any discussion? Not appearing, we'll have a roll call vote.
Councilwoman Montgomery,
Yes.
Councilman Creech,
Yes.
Councilwoman Stevens, Councilwoman Rish,
Yes.
Councilman Weber,
Yes.
Councilman Shomel.
Yes.
Councilman Nobby.
Yes.
Okay, you have passed it unanimously, so that will go back to Rick Hall and we'll be in the process. We got till December to get that done, so it's not a big issue, but this is the first step. Okay, pending ordinance 3048 and 3049, I think we could take both of those together. It's a transfer, and it's $475 from postage to minor equipment in the cable TV, and then we have $349.99 from pool chemicals to other equipment in the park. If it's okay with you, we'll take both those together.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, on pending ordinance 3048 and 3049, both transfers. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Would you like to suspend the rules and move on?
So
So
moved.
moved.
Second.
We have a motion to suspend the rules and consider pending ordinance 3048 and 3049, both ordinances transferring money within the budget. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Pending ordinance
We need third reading.
3050.
No, we need
Third
third reading.
reading.
I
Third
thought that's
reading.
what we did, I'm sorry.
We did suspend.
Okay, do I have a motion?
You're doing it like I
So
did.
moved.
All in favor say, all in favor say aye. I tried to make up the time.
He said he missed
I
it.
didn't learn anything.
Take that gavel away.
Okay, you've been mentoring him.
Pending ordinance 3050, this ordinance is an additional appropriation from the general fund, City Hall, electricity, council 23,610 insurance, and fire 2,500. This is for medical exams, and DOT 16,000 for gasoline. We'll open a public hearing on that. Anybody out there like to discuss anything about those transfers or those additional appropriations? Anybody? 3 times. None appearing, we'll close the public hearing, let the record show we had it. We'll consider pending ordinance 3050 on first reading.
Your Honor,
Yes,
what's council insurance?
goes for everything that we insure.
Okay,
It's, most of it's the additional insurance on the Vistion building,
okay.
That's
And
not
that should
our
be coming
insurance package.
close soon, right?
hopefully.
Alright. Is that gonna be enough for fuel for the rest of the year? Do we project or no?
That's for DOT.
Gee.
I hope.
So, Or then it should make it through the rest of the year?
We're hoping.
When it says gasoline, it's fuel, right? Not just
Gasoline.
and diesel.
Stuff,
And
yeah,
diesel.
Yeah. Mostly diesel for
Yeah.
the, trash trucks and DOT.
Somebody make a motion?
I move to accept pending
Second.
ordinance 3050.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to consider pending ordinance 3050 on first reading. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Would you like to suspend the rules and consider it on third and final reading?
So moved. Second.
On suspension of rules on pending ordinance 3050. Suspension of rules only. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None appearing, we can go on to third and final reading.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion for third and final reading on pending ordinance number 3050, which will be final reading. Any discussion? None appearing, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Pending ordinance 3051, this ordinance is additional appropriation for the park for part-time clerical. Open a public hearing. It's an additional appropriation for $5,000 for part-time clerical in the park. We use those people in the office, we use those people at night. They're all part-time people to watch the buildings, take care of things when we have a lot of things going. I think they told me last weekend we had Friday, Saturday, both buildings, and Sunday, all buildings full, which is great. You asked how many times we were going to use the 4-H building. We're using it on a regular basis. On pending ordinance 3051, what's your favorite?
So is this 50 or 5,000? Is this for additional? Like do we not?
Right. We don't have enough money in there to pay the part-time.
Is it because we have we now are hiring other people to do the 4-H building?
Not necessarily. We just didn't
No,
appropriate it.
basically, it's cover Sharon's vacation over the summer. Some of it, a little bit to the Roberts building, but most of it's just
Well,
over
to
the
cover
summer.
the events too.
Cover events at the Roberts building, just.
The more events you have, the more people you gotta hire part-time.
Whenever we have anything in any of the buildings.
Yeah, you gotta have somebody
to
there.
have somebody there.
I think it covers 4 people, that's salary, that much.
Get us to the end of the year. We'll get us to the end of the year.
I think it should.
I'm trying to figure it out. So,
Although December's heavy in Christmas parties, and I look for both buildings. In fact, Sharon told me the other day, we both booked our first wedding reception in the Roberts building. It's coming up here in a few weeks. Okay, what's your favor on pending ordinance 3051?
I'd like to make a motion to pass pending ordinance 3051.
Second.
Is there a second? You got a second? Okay. On pending ordinance 3051, any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Would you like to suspend the rules?
So moved. Second.
On suspension of rules, on considering pending ordinance 3051, suspension of rules only. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Would you like to move forward?
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion to consider pending ordinance 3051 on third and final reading. That motion would put $5,000 in part-time clerical at the park. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Pending ordinance 3052, additional appropriation from the edit fund, $67,894. That is the sale of the Pramco property. We got that money from Reclaimed Energy, and we are now transferring that to economic development. The agreement was 4 years ago that they would fund all the expenses, which they did, and when the building and the property sold, we would give them the proceeds of the money. They have a tremendous amount of expense against us, taking the tanks out, phase 1 2 or 3 times, cleaning up 2 other tanks. Oh, I
They
can't
paid for the.
clean up
tear
the
the
fire,
building
tear
after
the
the
building
fire.
down. So a good bit of this is all eaten up in expense, and now we're turning the rest of the money over to them as we promised we would do 4 years ago. So we have to have an additional appropriation, we have to have a public hearing. Everybody understand what we're doing? Turning that money over because they paid all the expense. It was a brownfield cleanup that we initiated 4 years ago.
They're putting up a fence. I noticed several steel poles.
Yeah,
have
they
been
just
pointed.
got permission to do that from INDOT, or from IDEM. In order to cut through that concrete, they gotta have permission from IDEM. Is there, go ahead.
I wanna,
Anybody else? Public hearing closed. Council, what's your consideration?
I move pending ordinance 3052 be passed on first reading.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to consider pending ordinance 3052, which is additional appropriation in the edit fund going for $67,894.66, which will be given to the Economic Development Group. Any discussion? Roll call vote. I hate to throw you like that, but it's a lot of money. I think we better do that.
Councilman Creech?
Yes.
Councilwoman Stevens?
Yes.
Councilwoman Rish?
Yes.
Councilman Weber?
Yes.
Councilman Shomel?
Yes.
Councilman Nabi?
Yes.
You have
Councilwoman
passed that.
Montgomery?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. You have passed that on. I never know where she started. You have passed that on first reading. Would you like to suspend the rules and consider it on third and final?
So moved. Brand, grab that gavel from me.
Second.
I will admit it.
We have a motion and second to suspend the rules and consider pending ordinance 3052 on third and final reading. On suspension of rules only, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? None. We can go on to third and final reading.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second to consider pending ordinance 3052. This ordinance would put $67,894.66 of the Pramco money back to the Economic Development, who bore the expenses of the cleanup. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Councilwoman Stevens?
Yes.
Councilwoman Rish?
Yes.
Councilman Weber?
Yes.
Councilman Shomel?
Yes.
Councilman Nabi?
Yes.
Councilwoman Montgomery?
Yes.
Councilman Creech?
Yes.
All are in favor. You have passed that. We'll issue that check. Thank you so much. Old business. Anybody have any old business?
Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
that lady right there has something on old
Well,
business.
you have to bring it up. Come on up. Is she a member of your, no, she's,
No,
I
she's
know
on
she
South End.
is.
She stopped me at the store the other day.
I think we're working on that, and David is on vacation, but I think the Red House,
Yep.
we're working on it. I mean,
Where
are
do we have
John?
on it?
Huh?
Well, let's see, I had to publish notice in the newspaper for 3 consecutive weeks. And we can take a judgment 30 days after the last publication. And that, I believe my calendar shows that judgment can be taken the second week of September. And once the judgment is taken, the court orders 30 days to give the property owner a chance to rehabilitate the property, and if they don't, then the city can do what's necessary to bring the property into compliance with the ordinance, a nuisance ordinance, including demolition if necessary.
Okay. Well, somebody's took the siding off at the east side of the house and the back.
Looked like
They
the
got
wind took the
permission.
roof off too, didn't it?
Yeah. But somebody gave somebody permission to take the siding
There
off?
are owners of the property, they could do that.
Okay.
So best case scenario, you're looking at November?
Probably
Well,
late
30
October.
days after the second week in September.
Mid-October.
October.
That house we can take down ourselves.
Okay.
Once we get the court order, we'll move swiftly.
Okay. Thank you,
Okay.
guys.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other old business?
Yeah, I want to address something Mr. Nobby's been concerned about regarding the railroad right-of-way. One factor is the owner of the business has been ill, and she was working on it, but I sense that we only authorized $500 to pay for that project there, and that really isn't going to cover it. It's quite a bit of research into the records to try to ascertain ownership of a right-of-way, such as a railroad right-of-way. And I would, to get the job done, I think you ought to consider authorizing more money to pay for it.
How much?
So, well, that's a good one. But asking them how much it's going to take might be the next step, and then we'll go from there. We can ascertain that relatively quickly. But it's not getting done, and I know that's not making you happy. So I think we need to give them throw some more money at it. And it's not their fault, but you know they have a lot of work to do, and they've got to kind of do what they can when they can, and that kind of thing. It's a difficult project.
How much you talking about, John?
Well, you know, I haven't talked to Jane about that specifically, but I would say, I can find out and let you know.
We have some money in the council budget where we could do that.
Yeah,
So get a price for us and bring it back to us.
Well, all right, I could do that, or you could authorize up to a certain amount.
Have we already spent our 500? you
No.
think?
Well, I don't know what they've done.
We actually have money appropriate, so what you need to do is get a price. And then if it's within the budget, we can pay it.
All right, I'll do that tomorrow.
Okay. Just keep it low.
That's what we did before, and we didn't get anything done, so.
Do you know at what stage they're at?
They're having
tell
trouble.
you.
It's a difficult job.
Okay.
Yeah, it really is.
How many property owners are you talking about?
Oh my, it's all the way along the right of way on each side. You know, it's difficult.
All right, miscellaneous business. Nancy?
No.
Tom?
Yes, I do.
Go.
I have an opportunity to embarrass my grandson. My grandson is 18 years old today. Happy birthday, Chandler. Thank you.
Happy birthday. You want us to sing?
I think I did enough.
Debbie?
I don't have anything.
Gabe?
Yes, sir, thank you.
Nothing? Fran?
I'm fine, thanks.
Dr. Weber?
Well, thank you.
Who cares? Council? Mr. Baker, do you have anything special besides that you wanna?
No, sir.
It's unusual that you asked for money.
I know. I'm not, they have to.
Mike, you have something on a miscellaneous business, come forward.
The mower thing.
Oh, yes.
Mower thing.
I got more bad news. We blew up one of our good mowers. It was old, but we went out and got some prices, and the Board of Works approved a quote today. We had 4 quotes, and he's got a real good quote. Go ahead and tell him what you got.
Yeah, went to Board of Works, gave me 4 quotes, a John Deere 15.5, a Kubota from Rogan Equipment 11.6, a Zimmer tractor Kubota, same one, it's a different company, 11.9, and a Toro about 16.9. So I guess I'm here to get approval for additional appropriation for a new mower. I'd like to go with 11.6, which is the lowest bid for the Rogan Equipment. It was display model 2013. Their 214s are coming in, and he'd like to get rid of it.
It's brand new.
The Zimmer, even though it's the same identical, they don't have them on hand. They have to order one, so that's why it's just a little bit more. But it is the same mower. So
What kind of mower is this?
it's a Kubota
Zero
ZD,
turn?
yeah, 60-inch diesel.
Diesel.
34 horsepower.
How much is it, Mike?
It's a scooter.
11.6 right now. We have a Toro that's 18 years old, another one that's 12, a Kubota that's broke down was 10, and our newest mower is 7 years old.
The reason we kind of stick with the Kubota, Phil likes to keep the Kubota. He's got parts for it, and he likes working on them.
No, I asked how much does it cost?
11.6, this one.
You can come and get my tractor at home, and then we'll appropriate money for me to get a brand new tractor.
You're out of order.
You sound like.
See how I use that gavel?
Yeah, that's good.
You asked for that, Weber. You asked for that.
Okay.
Is
The Board of Works has approved
blown up?
11.6. What we need to do is fund it, and I suggest we fund it out of Riverboat.
Inside blown up.
So I need a motion.
Which
for
we
that.
do for
I
equipment.
move we fund it out of Riverboat.
Is that, Nancy got a motion, is there a second? A motion and a second that we buy the 11.6 Kubota 34 horsepower from Rogan Equipment. There's nobody in Connersville that sells the Kubotas, so that's why we have to do that. Any discussion?
This is advertising it.
Advertise for
And
public
additional
hearing on
appropriation.
additional appropriation.
The current newest one's 7 years old, right?
Yes.
The newest one's 7.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Is there anybody opposed?
Is this without a trade-in or with a trade-in?
Without a
It's
trade-in.
piece of junk.
Okay, I'm hard here.
We use them
Thanks,
hard,
Mike.
guys, let me tell you.
We wear them out.
Well, how many acres we cutting? 33?
About 200 acres. Total. We don't mow just Roberts Park. I mean, Roberts Park's like 70 acres. We have all those other soccer fields, baseball fields, office, industrial, small ones.
Okay, we'll have additional appropriation for next time on that. Anything else? Anybody got anything public forum? Ruby.
I just want to thank Mike Selke for doing always good work, and I'd like to know this new guy that's head of the thing. I'd like for him to introduce himself.
My name's Kevin Couch. I've done sports for WIFE, now WLPK, for 4 years now, I guess. And I took over from Mike.
Good. Mike did a good job, and we'll miss him.
Just like
Yeah. He did a good job, and we're gonna miss him. I know he's laying around doing nothing.
Well,
Congratulations.
his oldest son into Northern California right now, so he is hard at work.
Well, that's good.
But it's just on personal stuff.
Yeah, that's good. That's all I have.
Thanks, Ruby. Ruby, your yard sure looks nice.
Oh, yes.
What are you gonna do when it frosts?
Go somewhere. Do something.
Okay, it was interesting today at the Lions Club, Ruby. Those
Beg
people,
pardon?
you might mention those people that retired from Vistion have some money coming. We just found out that they get $45 a year. Do you want to expound on that? Maybe there's some people out there.
Well, I don't know. I just got about 20 calls today. And I don't know. They'll have to check. I'll have to check it out.
Okay. Well, there are several people who already got it,
Yeah, yeah.
but there is some money available, so call Ruby.
Thank you very much. If you call me, don't get excited if I'm not home, because I do not have a job at doing this. And a lot of people does get mad. They'll say, "Where you been? We've been trying to get a hold of you." I'm not there.
Is there any place they can call to find out about that?
Yes, Vistion Center.
Okay, where's that? And
I can give you the telephone number.
let's get that and put it in the paper, because there's a benefit. We just found out that people that not retired
They
about
haven't
19...
been paying the full amount, or they've been not paying us the full amount.
Okay, but they're paying something, so.
Yeah, they're paying something, but it should be
But you
more.
had to retire at a certain date. What is that date?
I don't know. You have to be retired from it, but it has to be so long.
And you have to be 65 years old.
Yes.
But give them the number after the meeting here, Ruby, and put that in the paper.
But I appreciate if they would call,
Yeah.
because I don't run a business out of my house.
I thought you knew all about it. So I'm sorry.
Well, I can help, and I have helped. But you really get thrown over the coals if you don't know the answer. And if I don't know the answer, you're not going to get it from me. I'll say, no, I don't know.
But there is a Vistion number. Those are people that might think they're eligible for that money can go to. Okay. That's the end of public forum then. Nobody else wanted to speak. Rex, do you want to speak? Okay. I'm up to adjournment unless you folks have something.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion on the floor to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting adjourned.